Well, hey there, guys. I'm Max the Beast of ZeldaDungeon.net, and alright, now that Skyward Sword is out, of course I've been playing the game, and this is my first impressions video. I mean, I'm only up to, like, the Earth Temple, the second dungeon of the game. I'm literally about to do it. Like, as soon as I'm done recording, I'm gonna go do the dungeon. It's gonna be awesome. But, so, this is definitely a first impressions video. This is not a full review or anything like that, but it will definitely give you an idea of how I'm feeling about the game so far. And, for the record, just before we get into this, the mailbag there hasn't been a mailbag for a few weeks, and this is probably going to be like one more week without a mailbag as I go through more of the game, because I can't answer questions about a game I have no information on. So I'll definitely be answering questions, probably almost definitely after this week. That's my estimate anyway. As a lot of the reviewers and people who've had hands-on time with the game have promised, this is a game where you're gonna have to it's gonna take you a little time to get used to the controls, but it's really not that long, or at least it wasn't for me. And as soon as you familiarize yourself with them, they're really fun. They're just great controls, and I actually absolutely have a blast just running around as Link and just fighting as Link. It's just really fun playing the game normally. It's just very fun, very good controls. I really like what they did with the controls in this game. And, as I said, I'm up to the Earth Temple now, and this game does have some flaws. I'm gonna get the flaws I've noticed out of the way before I get into the, the great stuff about the game, because it's really fun. I've been having quite a blast playing this game, so let's just get the bad stuff out of the way. One of the things that annoys me is a flaw directly carried over from Twilight Princess in an ironically slightly different way. In Twilight Princess, if you ever reloaded your game, and then you collected any rupee bigger than a green rupee, it would suddenly say, "Oh, you've collected a blue rupee," every time, for no freaking reason. They just decide, oh, they gotta inform you what kind of rupee you just got, even though you only reloaded the game. You've been through this. Now, in this game, in Skyward Sword, they do that, except it's not with rupees. The rupees, they don't do that anymore. Just the first time, and it's awesome, they totally did away with that, except now they do that with the spoils, like the bugs and all the little, enemy spoils that you can collect and whatnot. If you reload and collect an item you've gotten before, they have to tell you what it is for some reason. But then, after that, it just collects without any notification. It's the strangest thing ever. It's less annoying, though. It's not as big a deal as the rupees, which you're always collecting, so that was really annoying. This is just, whatever. It's not fun, but, it's not a big drawback on the game. One thing that's really pissing me off, though, is the complete inability to skip any kind of cutscene or any kind of text. You can speed the text up a little, but it seems like it changes in speed from cutscene to cutscene, and it's not, sometimes it's really slow. So there's no ability to skip a cutscene or any text, even if you've, heard that before. If you talk to an NPC and then, talk to them again, hoping they'll say something new, or accidentally talk to them again, you can't skip through the text. And there's no reason for this limitation. I hear from some people who've already beaten it, that you can do this in the Heroes mode, like the second game, New Game Plus or whatever. But, why couldn't you do it in the first place? There's absolutely no reason for that restriction. That's ridiculous. And, the sky is actually kind of barren. The islands, there's a lot of them up there, but a lot of them don't really have much except a couple of the Goddess Cube chests. You activate a Goddess Cube on the surface, and then you can go up and get the chest in the sky. Aside from those, the sky's pretty empty outside of one or, a handful of populated islands, and even then they have one notable building. So the sky is a little bit not quite what we were expecting, though it is nice that you travel pretty quickly, and it's small enough that the lack of much in it really doesn't make a big difference, so whatever. And there are a handful of obnoxious puzzles, but that's true in any game, so Zelda or otherwise, so that's to be expected. And one thing that I noticed is I was stuck for a little bit on an Elden Volcano today, and, it was annoying. I was getting kind of mad at the game, actually, but it somehow stopped from being completely intolerable by the fact that I suddenly started collecting tons of bugs and other spoils. So somehow the spoils and just the collection aspect and just, finding stuff, which is fun in this game for some reason, is just, it helps with that kind of thing. There's stuff you can do even if you're stuck, kind of, a little bit at least. Alright, so on that note, let's move on to the great stuff about this game, because it is a really fun game so far. Provided it doesn't lose momentum, I'm thinking this may definitely be my favorite Zelda game, like I predicted. First off, the story is really cool, actually. Something about it just feels kind of different. I can't quite, describe it in a really, intelligent way that doesn't sound like I'm an idiot, but something about the story feels a little different, and it's not just because, oh, it's a different story than the other games. It's just the way the story is presented. There's like there's some aspects of the dialogue. There's just things that you don't feel like you'd see in another Zelda game. There seems to be a little more attention to detail put into like just normal conversations with some of the characters and just like chit-chat, and it resembles Majora's Mask with the great characters and, you know, kind of seeing their normal lives, which is just interesting and makes the world feel a little more like it freaking matters, you know? And also, there's just like, there's elements in the story like that, how you pursue Fi at the beginning of the game when she first appears to the goddess statue and stuff like that. There's just a lot of moments that feel a little more spectacular than you'd see in another Zelda game. Elements of the dialogue, elements of the scenes and whatnot. I mean, it's not like a story we've never seen before. It seems to be like it's kind of similar, you know, to a lot of other games. There's definitely a lot of similarities. It's not like this totally new thing. It's definitely a standard hero's tale thing, you know. But it just feels like there's some touches on it that really just feel like it's a new thing. It's a much more refreshing than a lot of other Zelda games have been. And on the note of characters, they're great characters, by the way. I found all the characters to be really entertaining, really great, really funny. And that is another thing. They're funny as hell. It's just really, there's so many hilarious interactions with the characters. I've just been laughing my ass off, really. And also, the new races that I've been seeing so far, the Kikwi and the Magmas, are freaking awesome. They are just really interesting creatures, really hilarious, really quirky and unique and funny. It's definitely a great world and a great experience just playing through the areas and meeting these weird little characters and whatnot. It's very awesome. Now on to the difficulty. Now this is something I've talked about a lot in the past, about the recent Zelda games like the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess especially, being pretty easy games. And, you know, not everyone will agree with me on that, but that's how I felt. And, you know, Skyward Sword is kind of pretty satisfactory on that front. I haven't died yet, or I haven't really needed any potions or whatnot, but I have come close to losing all my hearts. And this is like 6 hearts, mind you, not 3 hearts. You start with 6 hearts in this game. Quite a number of times now, especially in Skyview Temple, the first dungeon, I almost died against a normal freaking enemy. So, you know, it's got a good difficulty level, especially for early in the game. It's a pretty impressive amount of challenge, in my opinion. And I'm looking forward to this hopefully getting much more challenging as the game goes on. And at the very least, I imagine the Hero's Quest, where you take double damage and have way less recovery hearts, is going to be insane. And even if the normal quest isn't difficult enough, that's definitely going to amp it up quite a bit. And I can't even imagine doing like a 3-heart challenge or a minimalist run in this game. That just sounds like it's going to be crazy. Naturally, I can't wait to do it, but it's probably going to take me forever. Also, getting to the dungeon was just awesome. The first dungeon, the Skyview Temple, it's just, I mean, they're very short. It's a very short dungeon, and from what I hear from other people, that's going to be kind of the case for a lot of the dungeons in the game. But it just was like a really well-designed dungeon, really compelling experience, and really just, it didn't feel like this is all, well, this is your introduction dungeon, you're just going to make things really easy on you. No, it was a full dungeon. It was definitely harder than the Far On Woods areas surrounding it. I almost died 3 times just in that dungeon. The Stalfos took me down quite a bit. One of the Staldress, the 3-headed dragon things where you have to take out all their heads at once, that thing almost killed me. I like panicked fighting it. It was kind of awesome. And then Girahim, well, I didn't think he was the hardest boss, but for a great first boss, he was like a great difficulty level. But he was a really fun fight, and he did take my hearts down quite a lot during that battle, so that was also a very fun fight. Also, before I end off on this, the music is really good. I mean, some people have criticized it, like saying it's really not that great or that memorable, and I really don't understand that, because the tracks have really stood out to me, and I keep thinking about the music when I'm not playing the game, and when I am, like when I was preparing the notes for this video, I was totally listening to the mini-boss music repeatedly over and over and over. The music is really good, in my opinion, and it really, I mean, you know, it's not like the catchy, simple tunes we may be used to, but they are really good atmospheric music that really sets the tone of the areas, and they are really cool songs. I mean, it's not just like it's atmosphere, it's ambience. It is good music, and, you know, I just can't understand why someone would say that this music isn't the best of the series, because it's totally the best of the series, in my opinion. I mean, personal preference, is definitely a part of that. I mean, I can understand that someone wouldn't like it as much as some of the other games, but I honestly can't understand how someone could think the music is bad. I really just don't get that. It's great music. As soon as I entered the sealed grounds and heard the music playing, I felt like the proper emotion that they were trying to convey with that area, I just felt it immediately. It was great. Great atmosphere, great music, and it was awesome. And last one, I'm going to end this video off with a question. And it's kind of an odd question. Why are so many of the girls in this game freaking adorable? It's kind of freaking me out. Like, seriously. Alright, you know, that's it. I mean, I haven't played too much of the game yet, so I really can't go into this. This is not a full review. I'm definitely going to be talking about this game quite a lot over the next couple of months. So, yeah. I'm going to go do the Earth Temple. I'll see you guys later.